Hey, what's going on, guys? I want to make a quick video for a reference for people who are new to knives. I want to show the difference between push cutting and slicing. Most people who are in the knife scene already know the differences, they understand this concept, but I use these terms quite frequently and I want to make a reference video for those people who don't know what I'm talking about, something they can quickly look up and understand better as to what I'm explaining. So it's a very simple idea. The knife I'm using here is an Alpha Beast Balisong. I'm using this just because I'm going to be reviewing it soon. I happen to be flipping it a little bit today, plus it's nice and sharp. So that's my demo knife for this video. So I have a piece of paper and I want to give you a top view to best illustrate this. All right. When you're slicing something, what you're doing is you're using multiple points on your edge to make one solid cut. So if I were to slice into this paper, I might start somewhere on the blade, but as I'm cutting, I'm moving along different points on the edge. The benefit to slicing as opposed to push cutting is if one part of your blade is sharper than another, you're using all these different parts in unison to cut through whatever material you're cutting. This is beneficial if certain parts are a little bit more dull than others. If you hit a dull spot, you may have a little more resistance to cut, but then as you're moving along the edge, you find a sharper spot and then it cuts easily. So when you're slicing through something, when you have a nice sharp edge throughout, it's very easy to do because you're using multiple contact points on that blade, okay? What's a lot more difficult to do is push cutting. Push cutting is when you have one specific spot on the blade and that's all you're focusing on to actually cut through that material. This is inherently difficult because one little spot on the knife may not be as sharp as another spot. And the likelihood that you're going to find the exact same spot each time to consistently push cut with a nice sharp edge is probably rare. So push cutting, I'm going to use 2 fingers like this, or basically 4 fingers to keep it more stable, is you're picking one spot on the edge and you're only cutting with that one specific spot. Okay, so in this example, I'm going to try to keep this steady, but here is a push cut. So the entire cut that I was using was focused on one single point and or a very small movement. All right, it's almost impossible to literally stay on one point. But the difference here when you're doing cut demos to show how sharp a blade is, you may have a very, very sharp edge right there, and 1 centimeter above it, might not be as sharp. But when you're slicing something, it looks like the entire blade is just as sharp as that sharpest point, because you're using all those different contact points in unison with each other. It's much more impressive as far as cut demos go to slice, okay? But push cutting is more difficult because whatever spot and or very minute spots that you pick may not be as sharp. So with one hand, even though that looked extremely sharp, to push cut this, I'm denting the paper. I might have to slice just to get started. There we go. Now as I'm push cutting, it's much more difficult. Okay, so just to recap, a slice is using multiple points of the edge to make a cut, whereas a push cut, you're focusing on one very small point and only cutting with that specific part of the edge. So just want to make a video on that to clarify those basically definitions of those terms, because people often send me messages asking, I heard you say slicing, then what's a push cut? So I wanted to clarify that a little bit. So there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. And I thank you very much for your time and for watching. Hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.